Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, etherealfox Productions. I imagine for my current subscribers, and this likely includes my past subscribers as well if they happen to be tuning into this video, you're likely asking yourself the following.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
What happened to you? Is this channel dead? Where have you been all this time? What's been with this long hiatus and this sudden return? Well, I'll get to those questions, but first I just want to say the following. I want to start by thanking my past and present subscribers that have enriched this channel with your contributions. And by contributions, I mean providing your point of views, your constructive criticism. I know especially with the audio, and currently I'm using this Yeti microphone, which I'm not really too impressed with, just to say the least. Those constructive criticisms have really made this channel better, and I focus on improvement. It really does make this channel better, so thank you so much for that and for your understanding. And I hope that we can continue to have very enlightening discussions as we move forward. I'll get to the reason for the hiatus, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have a very busy job, a very demanding job for that matter, as a law enforcement officer. I live in a different side of the world now. I'm away from my family, which I recently experienced like a very close loss in the family, which has added to the hiatus, unfortunately, but I will get to discuss that when the time is right to do so. I'm just going to talk about just the general purpose of this channel and why I started it. When I started this channel in 2018, the purpose I had in mind for was to question the concept of veritas. I always think of that X-Files quote, "The truth is out there," and that's something that I've always pursued in my own life. Truth. Veritas. That is what really makes life interesting. This channel is committed to that concept of veritas and aims to question our modern time in terms of political allegiances, spirituality, religion, the unknown. It's also more interesting to focus on building towards a better tomorrow and find commonalities and how to get there. I find that we are living in very troubled times, which seems quite obvious and ubiquitous based on the zeitgeist of our modern age. I find censorship in particular has become far more prominent as well as unreasonably acceptable in the current landscape of social media, the mainstream media, independent research. Unfortunately, in 2021, my channel fell victim to this form of cancel culture and censorship, and this is based on the videos that I provided through my behavioral analysis of Elliot Rodger. Mind you, I am not obsessed with Elliot Rodger per se, but I'm more interested in the human condition and the modus operandi of human action. To make things unequivocally clear, this channel doesn't support violent criminal organizations, hate groups, hate speech, or the alienation of people, the alienation of free thought and expression. If you happen to be one of these people who happens to predicate your life as being this negative person, racial supremacist, or any of those negative things, then I suggest you not subscribe to this channel unless you're open to having an honest dialogue. We can have discussions, but we're not going to discuss things that are not constructive or building towards something that we can be able to find common ground. Because there's no common ground when you predicate your beliefs on just a philosophy of hatred. It makes no sense. So due to the growing censorship of YouTube and the fact that they claim that this channel violated the violent criminal organizations policy, just mentioning the name Elliot Rodger, I am going to be very strict in terms of what I post on this YouTube channel moving forward. I will be in compliance with their policies and guidelines as to what the people at YouTube want, or Google, whichever affiliate you want to go with. I will be in compliance with what they want. However, I will be posting my more controversial videos. And I'm not trying to be controversial, I just want to have discussion without having the discussion hindered or is being just blocked just for the sake of it. So my solution to posting unencumbered videos, unredacted, uncensored, all those videos we posted on my Rumble and Odyssey channels, so feel free to subscribe those if you're able to do so. I will be posting videos on YouTube as I go along, but you will notice that a lot of them will be heavily redacted, heavily censored, but there'll be also videos where it's not always going to be like highly controversial, but it'll be more of a discussion in terms of spirituality and enlightenment. If it gets to a point of like talking about things that are more of a violent nature or violent acts, then I will be posting those channels unredacted on my alternative media. On the topic of censorship, I found YouTube has been rather hypocritical when it comes to their own established standards and policies. And I ended up telling them this directly through their feedback process and also by email directly. A prime example are the ads I've been receiving incessantly, and I've attempted to block these ads for the last month, including the flagging procedure, and this has been ongoing prior to the posting of this video update. For the last month, I've been receiving these very graphic ads, which I found to be incredibly disgusting and in poor taste. These ads reflect upon some strange vampire romance novel. The main character is supposed to be this guy named Quentin Talon, and it's talking about very graphic gore and intimate relations, which is just unbelievably disgusting. I've also been receiving these Japanese anime comic book strips, and it's essentially the same thing. Very graphic, intimate relations, which I have no idea why YouTube has not taken these ads down, because it does clearly go against their policies. Just case in point, all you have to do is take a look at these screen captures, and it's just quite evident. As you can see, I've even had to censor parts of these screen captures, as YouTube would ironically flag this video as being against their policies. Yet it seems that they don't mind collecting the ad revenue from these screen captures and images and just being incessantly being played on other people's media feeds. So before the posting of this video, I reported these ads to YouTube, as I mentioned before, and I've yet to receive a satisfactory response. It's becoming more apparent to me that YouTube doesn't always adhere to their own policies, as it's quite evident. No matter how many times you flag or block these ads, it just keeps on popping up over and over and over again, and it's just so unbelievably sickening. There's another reason why I've been refraining from YouTube for all this time. Just this utter hypocrisy has just been something that has constantly bothered me, and I still find it to be incredibly irritating. If by any chance YouTube intends to target this channel again, might be solely based on this video, but please feel free to subscribe to my alternative channels listed in my bio. That being Rumble and Odyssey, as those are going to be the two primary alternative channels that I'll be using. Primary, secondary, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't really matter, but that's going to be my alternative media. I also recommend subscribing to my good friend Ben from Komori's Journal, as he recently had his channel terminated once he happened to receive over 1,000 subscribers, and he was gaining a lot of traction with his channel. Ben mostly talks about his life in a very honest and real, reflective manner. That's all he talks about. He just talks about his life in Australia and how he's doing, and just reflecting on relationships and also his own personal life. And it's a catharsis for him to reflect on these things. And he's a really good guy, and I really hope that you take an opportunity to look at his channel, as he would definitely appreciate the support. I don't understand what YouTube tends to think in their supposed infinite wisdom, but I guess they thought that Ben's channel, Komori's Journal, was way too offensive for their taste, so therefore they had to terminate it, because I guess they don't like honesty. So please feel free to subscribe to Ben's channel, as I know he would really appreciate the support. I will be quite blunt in saying this. I really don't give a damn whether or not YouTube decides to target this channel again. I imagine they will probably conjure up some type of excuse that I violated some policy of theirs that they don't even adhere to themselves, and that will be another reason to suspend this channel indefinitely, but who really knows at this point in time, because I have not really been keeping track of YouTube's policies and procedures other than just what's been reported to me. But the one thing I'm going to be certain of is the content that I'm going to be posting on this channel is definitely going to be very much redacted, and it's going to be very leveled down to a point where it's going to adhere to their policies and guidelines. So I will respect that. I just hope that they can be able to follow their own policies and guidelines in the near future. As I said before, I work in law enforcement, and it's a very demanding job in its own right. I deal with real people, real life situations, life and death on occasion, and it's a job that takes up a lot of my time, and it's a very serious job for that matter. What I wanted to provide on this channel is to give you some insights and give you some of my own knowledge where you can be able to apply them in your own real life, especially when it comes to reading people and being safe around people and being able to utilize those tools so it can really benefit your own life. I hope this channel does continue, as that is my intended plan, but I think it all really depends on the policies and the guidelines, and hopefully we find a sense of congruence with my content and YouTube's policy and guidelines. Hopefully they reciprocate and go by their own policies and guidelines, but I suppose time will tell as we move forward. With that being said, thank you for visiting this channel. I encourage you all to stay vigilant. Keep an open mind to the changes in the world.
That is the atheist.
Thank you.